know more details about this story. It was the perfect blend of history, storytelling. There's a little drama in there, some comedy, a little bit of everything. It was just so authentic and a great experience. We have a limited amount of time here, but I do have a few questions, and at some point we'll open it up to take a few questions from the audience as well. But my first question has to do with how this whole process went. Because in 92, 93, 95, and the 90s, there were no cell phones capturing footage, no social media. So, like, what was the process like for just gathering all that footage and data from back in the day?
Yeah, I had to literally turn the country and my house upside down to try and find every last photograph and video from TV stations and whatnot, because we had to get content, you know? And that was my main challenge. Getting that, and also getting the players to kind of go back in their memory and remember those little inside stories, and they all came out eventually. I must congratulate my nephew Adam. The editing he did here was phenomenal. And it's his first movie, you know? He just interweaved it all so well. I want to try something different tonight. It's not working. But I failed. I wanted to try some reverse psychology. And that was the ending of that movie is a lot. It's a lot. Each time I see it, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's happened every single time in Trinidad. So get used to it. But it's a lot. And the reverse psychology was telling you guys that I've grown up a lot since April, and it wouldn't happen here. The irony is it just happened getting around to that story. So it's over, it's done. I'm good now. It's a lot emotionally. And between Hopwell, of course, it wasn't mentioned, but Parkinson's is what he's battling now. He's non-verbal right now. Keith Coombs and Alzheimer's. That was an amazing thing to witness him putting the headphones on and suddenly realizing who I was. Auntie Paskey. Have a drink? Any rum? It's not vodka, but it's just water. Yeah. My mother, my father. God, it all collided in the end there. Like, I literally leave the theater for the last 10 minutes, because that helps. It didn't work tonight. I left the theater, it still happens. So I gotta find a next plan for Barbados tomorrow. But I must say, it's just so blessed to have those players as part of my life. And each player, we were literally a family. It wasn't like we were just going on stage to perform for a winning prize as such. It was us having fun on stage each time. And that energy came through to the audience, and I hope it came through on here. But it was just it was just having fun, you know? And you can't pay for that. That's just priceless, and that was an advantage we had, I think, in the competitions. The natural vibe on stage, with each player that I sort of handpicked mostly from All Stars, and there was a couple from Renegades, one from Desperados, players who could improvise. Because in Ramajé, if there's a good judge, you can tell when somebody is playing a set solo as opposed to somebody who's improvising on the spot. The body language will sell you out, you know? And I think that's where we excelled. And I forget your question.
That's right, you answered it. And just listening to your response on this and just talking about family, like while I was watching the documentary, family, this theme of family just kept coming back and back and back and back again. And thinking of your mother introduced you to Pan with All Stars, thinking about Dane Galston, thinking about Darnell and Mother Berry,
yes.
you know? And just this presence of family, but also Natasha's story was different because her mother didn't necessarily support the idea of her going to Panyard and learning pan. So can you just talk a little bit more about how that family dynamic played out throughout the...
Yeah, we all looked out for each other. I mean, Natasha, for example, was the only female in the band, obviously. So she had that little challenge for herself. But we didn't look upon her as anybody else but just another member of the band. And she started off, of course, as you saw in the movie here, very eager to play in the band. Now she's the best female player in Trinidad, you know. That's a fact. And her mind, her musical mind is crazy with perfect pitch and everything, you know. Her choice of notes in that summertime gets me every time. But there was Donnell Thomas, who of course toured with us away from school. So we had to have classes with him. Lisa Gani would be putting him down every day for a couple hours to do his maths and whatnot.
He didn't fall asleep, right?
No. But I remember a story, even in the Panyard with Donna when he was 6 years old, I would have to bribe him with KFC and Royal Castle and Domino biscuits to learn another 20 notes in Misty. And he'd be like, okay, let's go. And his retainance level was better than any adult in the band, you know? And eyes closed. And I'm like, we're gonna win this so easy, just with him. Because he was a show by himself, you know? But so the band really took care of each other, and I think that whole family feel really was, it came through, I think, in the movie, you know?
And I mean, just from being around panyards and in, you know, all these different types of settings where steel pan is present, like, that is something that is always there, family, community,
yes.
Like it's always there.
It's a family thing in most panyards, yeah. Yeah.
So before we open it up for maybe 3 or so questions from the audience.
I have one last thing to mention.
Yes.
This is huge. So Adam is going to Harvard, you know, Donald Trump's favorite college. And and thank God for Adam, he has dual citizenship, so he's safe. But 5 members of the band have to be sent home or find another college. But due to the sponsorship of Hardcore Experiences and also Minister of Trade and Hardcore sponsors Midco, the steel pan factory, I came up with this idea of Midco donating instruments to Adam for Harvard. So now there's a Harvard Steel Orchestra as a result of this movie. Yeah, so it's Harvard Steel. I mean, yeah, Donald would not like that, but it's there, sorry. And Adam is so keen and excited about the whole thing. He's now the music director of the band. And having Berkeley in such close proximity, there could be lots of fusion with other instruments and whatnot, you know? So, Harvard Steel, there you go.
That's very exciting, very exciting. What is one thing you would want audiences to take away from watching this documentary?
I would have a different answer for every audience. So this audience here, I would say we appreciate Pan a lot more, I think, when we're overseas. Our culture in general, and that's something that we can work on as a people, because Jamaica has a different kind of pride. I'm sorry to compare, but they just do. And I think if Jamaica had invented the steel pan, it'd be on the Grammy stage with every artist. Am I wrong? You know? And there's some hypocrisy. You know, don't put me on a radio station, I might get shot at. But I could talk for hours on that hypocrisy in Trinidad and the love for pan for 1 month in the year. I would never forget going to radio stations after each CD we had and knowing that we had this dynamic product. And every station I went to, it was like, oh, it's pan. No, check Independence Square. There's a station down there that would play it. We can't play that here. They literally would chase away their audience. Sorry to share that, but that's just the reality. And it's getting better. It is getting better in the last 4 years. The United Nations has an International Steel Pan Day, and of course, you know, Trinis, if America said it's good, it's good. We're back in that. So, but it has helped. Yeah, so I would just love people to see this movie and be inspired to kind of create another small band. There's no more small bands in Trinidad. Can anyone explain that? I don't know why. We won 4 Amages, is that why? They pulled out. But there's no more small ensembles, you know? And there's Panorama, and that's pretty much it. They're starting to bring back the music festival, you know? But it's interesting, and I think just to get students to come and see this movie, you don't have to be a Pan lover to enjoy this movie, I don't think. It's less about Pan than it is about us striving with an instrument to make it. And that's the story of any musician or any artist in the world, you know? So, yeah, students really, I would love them to see the movie, and I think we're making progress with the Ministry of Education to get that done, Trinidad.
Thank you so much for that. There are 2 microphones, one on each side. So if anyone has any the lights are really bright up here. Anyone has any questions, we would invite you can just walk up to the microphone and ask your question.
I won't cry.
I see. Is that
you're come real, you're not going to cry. I'm over it.
Oh, show me that bumpy line.
Thank you very much. My name is Faith Musa. I'm an artist from Malawi, Africa. I want to ask you a question. Watching this documentary, it was really exciting to see how such a big group of people could be so coordinated, so devoted, and they were young. I want to ask you, what was the biggest challenge to keep such a vibrant group together, working so well for such a long time?
Yeah. The main challenge was, for the first 8 years, it wasn't really a challenge. We were just loving what we were doing. The challenge, as you saw in the movie, was each player developing and getting better and better in their craft. They got respective offers to perform here and there and everywhere, and it became costly for us to bring back players from New York or London to join PANAZZ to go on a tour. And as Nigel says, the collective unwillingness to replace. I must admit, I was totally against replacing any of the front line. 1 maybe, but definitely not 2. To me, that was PANAZZ, not just the front line. They're not that special. The middle pans are way more important than they are. But in general, we were a unit, and it's very common with bands all over the world. You remove these 2 frontline players here, and it's not the same band. We tried it in a couple of gigs, and I was like, never again. So, that's the question, I don't know.
Thank you. So we'll take Sherwin's question here, and then we'll move over to Damon.
Hey Barry, we've met twice. And I just want to say congratulations, first of all. My name is Sherwin Thwaites, I'm a pan player as well.
Nice.
And we've met twice. Quick story, 1994, I'm a steel pan player in DC area, playing with PANAZZ The Steel Orchestra. Ken Professor Fillmore is around the band every day.
Legend.
1994, Potential Symphony is playing Jump by Professor Fillmore.
Yeah.
I go down and I'm playing in that band.
Right.
First 2 people I meet are Natasha Joseph and Avis Bruce.
Right.
Along with Darnell Jones and Donald Thomas and his dad Tampy. So I end up playing in Potential that year because Tasha is teaching me the music.
Right. Was I playing? I played 1 year at Potential. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't think you played.
Okay,
but you came to the yard and they would always talk about, yeah, we had to go on. Barry started our band, and it's 94. It's literally that year. So I'm there that year. I come back up. I end up going to Berklee College of Music, where Sheldon Webster is my roommate.
Oh, seriously?
And we're trying to bring Natasha Joseph up to come up. So I have very intimate, knowledge of the band. And just congratulations, because at that time in the 90s, you guys were the only bands that were soloing, so it inspired people like me to be a soloist.
Yeah,
And Dane is a very good friend of mine, Nigel. Yeah, I know the band. So everybody that asks me if I'm coming, I'm like, I have to come to see this because I know the band. And then Barbados for Jazz in the Sun, I'm a double second player playing with David Boothman, and we meet again.
Oh, that's right.
We meet again. So it's like full circle moments. So we have a lot to talk about, but I just wanted to say congratulations to you and that.
Thanks for saying that.
Thanks, Sherwin. So we have 5 minutes left, so we ask that you keep your question very direct.
This isn't a question, well, congratulations on the project, but this is something to put out there. There are over 200 universities in the United States that teach steel pan, and University of Maryland is the latest steel pan school to teach steel pan. And the lady standing behind the podium is the director of the newest steel pan school in the United States. Give her a hand. That's what I want to say.
Fantastic.
I didn't pay attention.
You're keeping secrets.
Hi, I promise this is quick.
Okay.
I was very impressed by the variety of the music genres that Steel Band covers.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know if there were any types of music that you would have loved to have played or done but never had a chance to.
Wow. I can tell you, like, once the band has completed over the last 20 years, you would be on the radio or anywhere in some party or wherever, and you hear a song like, Jesus, Lord, you would have killed this, we would have killed this. We would mash this up, kind of thing, you know? So definitely, and that was a challenge we had in the band. I was insisting on not playing what you'd expect. And difference of opinion with me and Johan, there was that. He wanted to try some of the typical songs, and I stood my ground. And I'm kind of glad I did, because the arrangements, Johan is a brilliant arranger, and it's just where less is more, and not as cluttered, and leave some space in the music, you know, and play with the right touch, and you got a real good product, you know. So we actually have 5 CDs now uploaded on all all platforms as of last year. So it's all available on Spotify, what you call it, iTunes, and those things. Yeah. Hello.
Congratulations again. And thank you everyone for coming out to this opening night of the DC Caribbean Film Fest. The festival is going to keep going until the 12th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming out, guys. I'll see you outside.
The reception. You should go do it.